So you're the bitter old lady.
I'm the bitter old lady. I'm 12 hours out of 24 hours out of surgery. I don't know, man.
36.
I can't tell you how long it's been since they cut open my knee and cut open my knee and shoved this inside. Now, no, that is not a new pair of breasts. That's actually my knee. It's metal and plastic. That's my knee. Does the audience have any questions?
How do you feel about Mexicans?
Okay, here's the deal about Mexicans. My father got into this country some way, and he became a citizen. He married my mother, and this is the deal. We want the Mexicans, let them come, let them apply legally, and get into this country legally. It is not fair that they cross the border, have babies, live off the welfare system, and don't pay taxes. That is not the American way.
Okay,
Will you run for president?
Well, of course, if no one else does, I will step up. I will step up, but I think Hillary's gonna do it.
I think she is.
If no one else, then I would have to, wouldn't I?
El Presidente.
okay,
Mexican.
how do you feel about Southern old white women who think that they are owed things or whatever, you know, the privileged
Okay,
ones?
you call that elitist. Well, I have a good friend over here, and clearly she has nothing. So she is not in that group, you know. In fact, someone tried to run her over with a grocery cart, and she fought them back. That's what I admire about older Southern women. But Southern women who were raised to believe in the cotillions, and that they would find the right man and marry him and have the right amount of children and go to church and everything would be wonderful, are full of shit. They're still
Amen,
living.
sister.
They're,
Amen,
they're
sister.
still living in the 1950s. This is 2013. And guess what? You do have to make explanations. I am a diabetic. Crunch.
Celeste, how do you feel about sex?
Sex is overrated. You know, I just want to say that of all the things in the world that people could do, sex is probably the most time-consuming and time-wasting. It's just overrated. People kill over it. People spend fortunes for it.
Brace yourself, Effie.
People, yes, there's your Irish foreplay there. Brace yourself, Effie. It's just, this looks like kind of like a turd. It's just a ridiculous, sex is a ridiculous thing. I don't want any part of it.
How do you feel about, what is it, the Trayvon Martin case outcome?
Okay. What I resent is in the beginning it was a hate crime because what's his name? George, what's his name?
Zimmerman.
Zimmerman, they believed was either Jewish or white, and he shot a black kid. When they found out he was Hispanic, it was not a hate crime. Any crime you commit against your brother is a hate crime. You cannot rob and kill without being hate involved. But this particular crime, Mr. Zimmerman saw this kid in this hoodie and at that time and in that instance decided he was going to murder him in cold blood. He was told to, thank you, he was told to step back, he was told to not follow the kid, he was told to leave him alone, and what did he do? He drove up, followed him around, shot him. He is a cold-blooded murderer. He deserves life in prison. And the girl, she had the most damning testimony, but then again they say she was on drugs or something that night.
Yeah.
Well, you know, drunk men tell the truth too, right?
That's right.
How do you feel about discrimination?
Against who?
I don't know.
I've seen it everywhere. In Alaska, the whites discriminate against Eskimos. In Mississippi, the blacks and the whites discriminate against each other. In Florida, the whites and the Cubans got to mix it up. In Brownsville, Texas, it's just plain out the whites and the Mexicans. And in Rwanda, it's the people with the bigger noses that pick on the people. They're all black, so what have they got to fight about? It's the size of the nose. Discrimination is just a natural part. Doesn't mean we shouldn't try to overcome it. It's just, we're a tribal people. Human beings are tribal. Discrimination is a natural thing.
How do you feel about breasts?
Next question.
How do you feel about
How do I
breasts?
feel about Paula Deen? Okay. She said the word. She apologized for it. Let's just let it go.
That was something that happened years
And
ago.
besides, you're right, it was
Make any
years ago.
sense.
Think about it. Don't all of y'all secretly want to call her a cracker? Haven't you ever turned on the TV and said, who is this cracker with her two fat cracker sons doing with this bucket of lard?
Somebody called us a
I
cracker
mean, doesn't that
yesterday.
scare you?
That's right.
I asked you a question.
No,
All right, talk all right. Oh, you breath.
we're about to back to the breasts.
Chrissy's got a fixation.
Breasts.
How do you feel about pain medication?
Pain medication is a gift from God. God intended us to be on pain meds.
Is that a sign?
That's where there's a hole in Celeste's arm where the morphine goes.
Are you enjoying all that candy?
Am I eating it all?
Are you enjoying
Enjoying
it?
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, wouldn't you?
Do you like this interview?
No. This interview isn't any good.